저희 영국에오다 팀은 국내 국제개발협력의 구조적 문제를 모색하고 해결하는 것을 주제로 잡았습니다. 먼저 코이카 부산 사무소를 방문해 국내 문제를 파악하고 영국의 새 대학교에서 인터뷰를 진행했습니다. 코이카 부산 사무소에서 현재 한국국제협력단이 가진 여러 구조적인 문제와 진행되고 있는 사업에 대해 얘기를 나눠볼 수 있었습니다. 문제점은 첫째, 현장으로 투입되는 인력이 부족한 점과 정부의 예산과 관심이 부족한 점, 실효성이 부족하지만 개수만 늘어나고 있는 사업들이 꼽혔습니다.
잘 먹겠습니다. 이타다키마스.
Last year, Korea started 1,800 programs for the grant aid, but because of too many programs, it was inefficient. So what do you think Korea have to do to make a grant aid more efficient?
It is very difficult because grant aid, I think, gets influenced by foreign policy and diplomacy. So Korea wants to have international relationships with so many countries. It also depends on disasters and unfortunate events, things like that. So when there is an earthquake or when there is a flood, obviously every country wants to support. So those kinds of situations, if your aid policy is dominated by diplomacy, then you don't want to spend all money on one country. You want to distribute to as many as possible. Then that means your number of projects will proliferate. And again, administrative burden and cost of delivery will increase, because whether you have to deliver $100 or $1 million, there are certain fixed costs, right? So those will be there. So if you are delivering small amounts to large number of countries, then your administrative cost is going to be very significantly high. So I think ultimately the answer depends on KOICA being independent from influence of the foreign ministry and foreign policy. In that case, then you can prioritize. You can say, okay, this is the minimum size. We will not give donation below this, right? There's no point in giving $10,000 or $50,000. Those small amounts, and the administrative cost is just sheer. So you say that, okay, our minimum aid is going to be $1 million, let us say. And so then you set up conditions for your project approval, right?
이거는 뭐라 할 수 있는 범주가 아니야. 로운이 집에 있어. 로운이 집에 있어. 오 하는 거 맞아 근데?
이따다키마스. Earlier you said that there are lots of different topics about development. You said about gender issues. And just wonder, I don't actually studied about the development. So what is the relations about gender issues and about the development? What can we do for that?
There's a lot actually. And one part that, first of all, there's this entire literature on like this idea of like intersectionality and how when you're a woman you're already at a disadvantage because of your gender, but then if you're poor then you're more disadvantaged. In my area of study, right now I'm researching the intersection between like gender and migration and labor migration. So
What is the most interested part of you when you study about the development?
what interests me the most? I like came into development already knowing that I want to focus on a specific group of people, and mine is I'm really interested in gender studies and in migration. So, and I come from the Philippines, so actually one of our development strategies is to export workers abroad, because then the government believes that it will increase earnings and remittances. And so what my research interest really, where it really lies is within this huge section of huge portion of women in the workforce who are leaving as domestic workers, because I think that within like the discourse and within like the culture in the Philippines, it's so common to think about domestic workers as the norm in our country, where either like A, they work for like households within the Philippines, or B, they migrate as like domestic workers abroad in Middle East, in like Singapore and Hong Kong, and that people forget that they have a lot of stories to tell, and that they are affected in many ways that, like I said, mentioned earlier, that they're even just because they're earning money doesn't mean that they're not experiencing inequalities as women in the labor force. And so yeah, I think that what really interested me within development is the fact that I grew up in like a poor country, and it's very illuminating to understand like these problems that I see on a very like mundane and like regular basis, backed up through like theory and through like research. Suddenly like there's explanations as to why we're still undeveloped now, despite a lot of efforts to do so, despite aid coming in, despite like I said, like exporting workers. I guess it really hits close to like where I'm from and home. But I think more importantly, it's about like one thing that still really frustrates me is how there are inequalities within development itself. So just because, like I said, like being a woman, it's harder to be poor. It's harder to like be like considering intersectionality.